Hey, if you've decided to press play on this video, you might have been experiencing some difficulties with Western medicine, with Western psychiatry, and in correlation to your spiritual awakening or spiritual growth. And I have a pooch here that wants to be part of the video, so come on, jump up. Lay down. Thank you. Now, and I personally have been falling between two chairs in psychiatry, in school, in all areas of my life since I was a very young boy, much due to being a twin flame and taking on this mission of being a earth angel on a planet filled with jealousy, hate, anger, drugs, and as a 4-year-old boy, I started to experience how I was different from other people. Well, earlier on, but that's when I really knew that I was entirely different than most people, with very high empathic, I would call it suffering at that age, actually, because feeling all that jealousy and envy and hate and misdirected anger at such an early age was I had no understanding of how they could be how they were, and it went on and on and on and alienated me all throughout life. Did not feel like I belonged on this planet at all, and I probably didn't. And growing up in a very dysfunctional family as a twin flame as well, with templates that were in my family, and by the time I was 7 or 8, right after the birth of my beautiful sister, my mom and dad decided to end their marriage, which just added to my emotional turmoil. And with the passing of my grandfather, which was my patriarchal idol, what have you, my father figure, my whole world came tumbling down, and I lost my faith in God. How could he take away the kindest, most important person in my life, apart from my mom? And at that time, because my dad was absent due to several reasons, and so I lost faith in God, and it put me away from my spiritual knowing, and for many years I struggled to find my place in society. By the time I was 12, I had been in and out of therapy, with and without my mom. My dad's still not participating in those kinds of things, but being in therapy all by himself due to his personal struggle. And I started having infatuation with rock stars, and I always wanted to be a musician. So I thought, well, they seem to be drinking beers and whiskey, and that attracts a lot of women, and seems to be a pretty cool lifestyle. So I thought drinking beer would be more important than actually learning to play a freaking instrument, because of how they marketed rock stars in both our country and the United States of America, where this culture originated with England, United States, blah blah. And I started tumbling pretty fast after that, like drinking beers, trying out different kinds of alcohol, and eventually at the time of 14, 15, I tried smoking cannabis, and it gave me what I was lacking, the false connection to spirit, and so I immediately fell in love with that, romanticized it. Mary Jane and hash became my mistress, and as spirit, they call it spirits for a reason, alcohol, because it fills you with spirit, and gives you a false connection of false euphoria, false connection to God. Further on, I started experimenting with meth as the curiosity for stimuli increased with the results and effects that I was getting with cannabis and hash. And so I eventually stumbled upon ecstasy and mushrooms. Psychedelics in general seemed to be opening up the gates and giving me a temporary heart opening with MDMA. And so I would experience heart connections, which I felt was what I was here to do. And it kept me in that perpetual use of trying to experience a more widened heart chakra, a more heartfelt connection to everything that is, which is nothing but a simulation of the real thing. Nothing but a poor simulation of the real thing. It's like flying a plane in a simulator on your laptop, and then jumping on a plane trying to fly a Boeing 747. That's how different it is. A true mystical experience will MDA will open your heart chakra, like, temporarily. Once that effect wears off, your serotonin and neurotransmitters are so burned and shocked, and the roots are like tighten like that, and so your serotonin levels drastically drop, and you have no experience of joy or whatsoever in life if you take it enough. Which is what most people in the psychedelic community are experiencing, so they go back to that again and again and again and again. With mushrooms, you get the keys to the door. With LSD, you open the doors of perception. DMT is said, I've never tried it, DMT is said to blow the door off the hinges. Well, with a true mystical experience, a true one, natural, no entheogenic persuasion, no stimuli of any kind, just true natural experience. There is no door at all. And that's as bluntly as I can put it. And with all these keys and tools, at some point you got to get the message and put the tools back in the toolbox. And when people don't do that, they seem to be getting more and more increased deficiencies of serotonin, dopamine, other hormones that makes the body and the mind function in a balanced manner. And with mineral deficiency, such a psychedelic experience can go very, very wrong. Now, I've had one bad trip in my life. Several people try to put me in a bad trip, but I had the mental faculties back then to realize that they were actually jealous of me, and or they wanted to set me off. So I walked out of the room. I walked out of the party, left back home, and enjoyed my own presence and own trip with music and blah, blah, blah. And fortunately, I never experienced a real true bad trip, but I had a pretty strong one in which I had not been eating very well for very long. I had not been nourishing my mind, body, and spirit in such a way that it would be a positive experience for me. And it resulted in me having a third eye awakening. I saw everything that was wrong on the planet. This was in 1997, 98. I was able to look behind the veil of Maya, and I did not like what I see. I saw these monkeys on this planet killing Mother Earth. And not only that, they were not loving each other. There was no community that I could seek out that I would be welcomed in, because one, I used too much drugs for the spiritual community, and I was too spiritual for the druggy community, and so I didn't feel home in any of these two camps, so to speak. And resulted in me feeling very isolated and alone on this planet, which catapulted me into a spiritual process of processing all that frustration, hate, and anger from all of my life. And I just wanted to be alone most of the time. I wanted to connect with nature, with animals, and with people that I actually found somewhat compassionate and loving enough, because I could see through people's intentions at this point. With after my third eye awakening, I could see how they would manipulate, or how when they wanted something from me, or they wanted me to want to steal my light, basically, or shut it off, or drive me mad, things like that. It was a very rough time for me, and with the isolation also came the issues of mental instability, and using drugs on top of that was a major catalyst for disharmony in my mind, body, and spirit. And eventually I had psychotic breakdowns. I had police come pick me up, take me to the mental facilities, and they eventually forced me, which I'm thankful for today, to enter a rehab program where there was a wonderful psychiatrist named Omar, which I'm seriously grateful for having met. He was one of those people in life that showed me the path back to myself. He saw that I was spiritual, that I was meditating, and so very often in our sessions we would talk about what we needed to talk to, cover that fairly deeply and quickly, and because I was very aware, even in my unawareness or in my struggling. And this is a bit hard for me to talk about too, because it's a very hard time in my life. And I spent 3 months in that facility, meditating with him, being put on different medications by the facility, after having been a test subject or guinea pig for allopathic medicine for almost 10 years due to anxiety and mood swings, etc., due to all these things. And spending time in a psychiatric ward with other hardcore criminals, when you have a huge heart chakra and an empath, highly sensitive empath, with a also imbalanced third eye, seeing through people all the time, making you extremely paranoid. It was not a good thing for me, but it was a very growing experience because it taught me how to be more reclusive and turn to books, turn inwards, write more. It also taught me to be open about my struggles with the people who worked at the rehab facility, be it doctors, psychiatrists, just people who work there in general. And it led me to balance my throat chakra and be able to speak my truth to complete strangers, and in a very sensitive setting. And all the medication, though, it clearly kept me in a perpetual state of, while it was also helpful, some of it, an antipsychotic drug that helped me ground more, helped me eat, helped me be able to be social and at least work out and exercise, which also gave me a lot of beautiful wisdom of how my body needed at least an hour of working out every, like hard workout, every 3 days, an hour incomplete, walking 30 minutes, like 2-3 times a day, and eating healthy. They fed us regular household costs, regular household foods like vegetables and juice, blah blah blah. But at this time, the spiritual awakening that I had, it put my body in such strain that I actually lost all my hair, my beard, everything. I had no hair on my body except for my private parts. And they had no understanding of alopecia or how to treat it, or so I started to realize, like, wow, these people are doctors and they have no fucking clue. Sorry, my French. They have no clue, and they can't help me. What if they can't help me with my mental issues either? Like, what if they're like totally way off base? And I was right. I was onto something there. So I started reading Caroline Myss, a book that was planted in the facility by either a beautiful hearted worker or previous patient, I don't know, but someone had put a book by Carolyn Miss in my path, and I had also books by Deepak Chopra, and I was reading Neil Donald Walsh's Conversations with God, all 9 books. In those 3 months, that's how much time I spent alone, cultivating my peace, my inner harmony. And this eventually led to me feeling more balanced mentally with all the exercise, with all the nutrition, but something just didn't add up. I just felt like there was something that was not right. And so I went home, I talked it over with my mom. I said, you've been with me this whole ride, helping me with the doctors, helping me go to treatments, giving me rides, keeping the medication so that I wouldn't overdose, as I was starting to be suicidal from all this as well. And and so I got home, I went for a walk with my dog that day, and I realized, well, damn, I'm not gonna be taking this medication anymore. It's making me feel worse. And so I quit that day, straight up. I would not recommend that for most people. However, I would recommend you talk to your doctor about it and separate your medication slowly, so you don't get any drastic side effects. Because they gave me like 4 diagnoses down there. And all of these diagnoses I have found now are due to lack of nutrition, due to lack of exercise, due to hormonal imbalances, due to lack of mindfulness. And so I treated myself from bipolar, borderline, schizotype, and chronic suicidal tendencies. Yeah. Those 4 diagnoses was what they gave me. Now, they wanted to put the ADD label on me as well, but I would have eventually been on each of these diagnoses had 1 or 2 medications each. Get my drift? So I had 2 pills for this, 2 pills for that, 2 pills for this, 2 pills for that. And then I had 1 pill for each of the side effects given from the various ones as well, to keep me from having a bad reaction. What? No. No. So these were all just poisoning my mind further, and poisoning my body further, and poisoning my spirit most of all. And so I quit them that day and started using the regime that I had found had worked for me down there, isolating myself, being reclusive. 3 years I spent walking my dog, eating right, lifting weights, and meditating in my room or in my house where my mom lives. And she gave me the opportunity to heal myself and get back up on my feet, and in my own time become the person that I was meant to become, which I am here today telling you that all of these allopathic medicines are nothing but poisons. They are a faulty copy of what you need, and most of all, what you got to realize is, with allopathic medicine, first you got to heal from whatever it is you're ailing, your disease, And then you got to heal from the medication as well. So you're prolonging your healing time, putting you in a kind of stasis. And I've seen with so many of my clients and with myself, in the times that I've been a spiritual advisor and holistic advisor online. So I've started out doing this stuff on Facebook for free, which led a lot of people come to me and getting help. And I used the holistic wisdom that I spent 3 years in teaching myself and learning what worked and what didn't work, learning what could help me and what could not help me. And so I paid my tuition, so to speak, for becoming the holistic advisor that I am today. I will not teach anything that I have not experienced myself, whether it is holistic approach to healing, medicinal herbs, and I'm not talking about cannabis. There's a whole lot of variety of incredible healing herbs out there that'll kick cannabis in the socks and not give you the wanted side effects that so many of us seems to want. And with the twin flame unions that I've also experienced, a true mystical experience, I only teach what I've experienced myself and from the stage that I'm at in my spiritual evolution and awareness. And so I know what I speak of when I open my mouth and voice it to you. It's something that I've experienced myself. And I've healed now. We're also in therapy without medication for those 3 years. And eventually my therapist said, well, I don't think I have anything more to help you with. As a matter of fact, you don't have any of the diagnosis you were given. I repeat, any of the diagnosis that you were given. I was no longer bipolar. I had no longer borderline symptoms. I had no longer schizotype symptoms. I had no longer chronic suicidal symptoms from not taking any medication. And so today I'm still free of symptoms. None of these templates, programs, patterns, diseases, or ailments are no longer tormenting me or a part of my life. It's not who I am anymore. And I can help you with these things. I can help you step into healing with the work that I do and help you come into mind, body, spirit balance without the use of poisons, without the use of any medicinal properties except for what Mother Nature has provided for us for thousands of years. And most importantly, I can testify to the treatment of this work. I have all my hair back again, except for the lower part of my eyebrow, my eyelashes here are still coming back. And apart from that, I have no symptoms whatsoever. Stabilized in mood. Stabilized in my body. Stabilized in my spirit. And all of this from not taking any medication. All of this from nutrition, exercise, healing, mind, body, and spirit in a reclusive way. Taking the time, no quick fix. You will only prolong your healing. Now, that is a choice you'll have to make. I made the choice, and I'm so grateful I did. I got my life back now. I got my life back. You can have your life back too. But it means no quick fix. There's no quick fix. There's just no quick fix to spirituality. There's no keys out there that'll put you in connection with God for good. There just isn't. There's no medication out there that'll heal you. Nope. There isn't. Healing is in nature. Healing is in nature. Cancer, chaga, reishi, cannabis, mental instability, minerals, exercise, learning how hormones work in your body, learning about what dopamine is, what ephedrine is, what norepinephrine is, what adrenaline is, and all these other hormones. Testosterone, estrogen, oxytocin. Now that's a very, very important hormone. It's what makes you feel good. It's what makes you feel connected to yourself and alive. Oxytocin, the cheapest, most uncredited drug that is out there, oxytocin. You can get it for free, petting your pets, cuddling, hugging a person for 20 seconds will release enough oxytocin for you to get a surge of yummy energy through your body. That's all it takes is 20 seconds of hugging someone. That hug that I got from my allopathic medicinal subscriber was more important to me than the medicine it gave me. Healed me way more. Him sitting there and listening to me was healing me way more than these Western poisons. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. You can choose healing today. You can choose well-being today. But it's all in your hands. You're going to have to make the choices, and nobody else can do them for you. You can get the assistance you need to step into healing and well-being, but it's an everyday choice you'll have to make. Every day I choose health and well-being. Every day. And I'm still coming back to life. Whereas with allopathic medicine, I would probably be dead today with all the side effects, as suicidal tendencies, parking a tractor in your attic, or whatever we read about on the news all the time. And it's your choice. Welcome to healing. Have a great day, night, evening, or whatever it is where you are, and be well.